Alright, so we have our character here. Let's go ahead and select all of this and press 3 to get rid of those bounding boxes. We can see it a little bit better. Um, with these guys, if I go to face mode, I'm going to go ahead and hit R and just kind of scale this out a little bit because they're more spherical. Looks pretty good. And I do, like I said, tend to like to exaggerate the model. So let's save this and let's just jump back into our other scene and reload. And you can see here we have our character, but I actually have the axis off or wrong. See that? Like it should be rotated and facing this way. So let's go back into our other scene here. I'm going to select all of this. And actually, I'm going to select the bounding box object. I don't need it anymore. So I'm just going to do select object and then I'm going to hit the delete key. But with all of this, I'm going to open up my outliner so you could see kind of how this works. I'm going to just group by hitting Control and G all of that together. Now what's cool about this is if I select the cake and then I press the up arrow, it'll select everything in that group. Now with that group selected, I'm going to go to Modify and Center Pivot. And now I can just rotate this on the y-axis here, maybe 90. And then if I hit Control S and I go back into this other scene and I reload, it should just rotate it for us. And it looks like it needs to go, let's see, if we go to our front view, yeah, we needed to go minus 90, I believe. There we go. Yep, then just hit Control S. And there's our straightened out view. He's a little big, this guy, so I'm just going to hit R and scale the whole. We could do a subgroup of just the line, so I'll hit Control G. And now you'll notice within this group there is a group called Lion. And I can go to Modify and then Center Pivot on this and just scale this guy down. Bring him down just a little bit. Even with our cake here, I kind of feel like we can just kind of squish this a little bit more and then just scale and then flatten. Alright, let's go ahead and same trick as before, select one and press the up arrow on your keyboard and it'll go up a level. Just kind of move them over here. What we can do is look at ways that we can duplicate or recopy this guy to create this elephant. So with this lion selected, I can just hold shift and drag him over and I can just name this guy elephant. And I'm actually going to grab this group and just drop it by holding the middle mouse button on top of group 1. So to get it out of here, you can either do that or you can just middle mouse and just drag it above it. Now you can see we have an elephant group and a lion group. So we don't need necessarily this main, but I can use this for maybe I can use it. Yeah, we don't need it. So let's go in our elephant here. Let's just start taking out parts we don't need. I don't need this, and I don't need these two front arms. I could probably use this for the ears, which would be kind of cool. Let's go ahead and just select this, and then I'm going to hide everything but this future elephant. So with this selected, I'm going to go to face mode, double click this, bring it down here, and just kind of, now notice I'm moving according to the world origin, so I'm going to hold W down, and I'm going to also hold the left mouse button and just go to object. And I'm going to start to position this way, and just start to scale this out. And I'm really just gray boxing. Notice that my elephant doesn't have a muzzle and it also doesn't have a nose there. And also all three of these pieces are, let's go this way. All of these are sort of rotated like that. I'm actually going to hold E and left click and just do world and see if that lets me, let's see, we'll do object and then we'll do component. Does that work? I'm trying to do this without having to. Let's see. Well, let's do modify center pivot too on all three of those. Yeah, we might just have to just sort of tweak this a little bit. So move this back. I'm going to hit R. Let's move these eyeballs forward. So I'm going to select both. Just going to move them forward. It looks like I had copies there. Let's delete this guy. There we go. So I'm going to hit R. Just kind of give his head more of that spherical look like that. Leave these where they are. And then for this, for the trunk area, I'm just going to go to face mode, select this bottom face, and then hold shift. Press R to scale that in just a little bit. Hold shift again, I'm going to hit E and just rotate that down. And let's go back to world, position it this way. Now if you go to edge mode, I can double click that edge and hit R, scale that in a little bit more. Now what really could help is if we insert an edge loop up here to really just kind of help us hold that top shape. Now when we go back to edge mode, I'm going to hit R, scale that in, scale this in, and then same thing with this, bring it down, scale it in a little bit. Now what you probably notice is you're like, well, how do I get it so, let's hit F to focus there. So this is a little bit more flat, right? Like, because this is rotated this way. Well, what I can do is go to edge mode, select all of these edges that make up that face, and then right click and I guess hold shift and right click and then look for a crease tool. And with the middle mouse selected, just holding the middle mouse down and going to the right, I can actually flatten that out. So something like this. Looks pretty good. And we could do the same thing for this. It looks like it's not really a crease, but it gives us a little bit more of a hard edge. So I might just add a slight crease there. So shift right click, go to crease tool, and just click my middle mouse in just a little bit. And you could see that gave us a little bit of a, if we turn this off so you can see that better, a little bit of a crease there, which is nice. Now for this edge back here, I'm going to double click it, right? This was the, oh, actually, you know what? Let's just bring this face out. So I'm going to go to object mode, and looks like we kind of, it is kind of, I think it probably sits against the body a little flat. So I'm just going to bring it in so I don't have such a hard edge in there. All right, let's grab these eyeballs. Bring that down a little bit. W. Bring this down. Man, how many copies of this do I have? There we go. Do you have any copies? Okay. Now, we're kind of almost done, believe it or not. Like with this, I can go to vertex mode, and if I hit 4 to see through, I can just kind of bring these down. And then I can add another edge loop this way. Oops. Just kind of giving me a little bit of a curve. I'm going to hit plus on my keyboard to expand my locator a little bit. And then for these guys, I'm just going to hold shift and duplicate them up. Let's go back in here. Now if you ever get this where this is green, you just go to assign existing material, and for me I'm just going to throw Lambert 1 on all of them. Now because we duplicated it, what's cool is if I double click this, it only sort of works with that duplication. So these seem to be a little bit higher and these seem to be rounder. So now watch this. If I go to face mode, it only works with that duplication. So I'm going to hit W, go back to world mode, and let's scale this up a lot. But I'm going to delete this edge here, control backspace, and select both of these and just kind of move them down, rotate them up a little. And it doesn't look like they're perfectly centered. Let's kind of move this in just a little bit. Same thing with this leg. All right, let's unhide everything. You can see we have our elephant layer, our lion, and I think that's good for now. What we can do is just hit Control S, jump back into our other scene, and reload it. See if we put the position right. Yep, looks pretty good. Not bad. Lion's kind of coming off the chair. But what's actually cool is this. Notice it remembers all that grouping too. So if I click on this and I press the up arrow, notice it grabbed my line. And if I press the up arrow again, it selected the entire cake. So that's pretty good for now. I think having the lion and the elephant. In the next video, I'll knock out the giraffe.